Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to crack the code on one of the most critical parts of your Turkiye Burslari Scholarship application, the letter of intent. Seriously, getting this right can be a total game changer, so let's jump right in.
So think about it for a second. In that whole stack of papers and forms for your application, what's the one part where you actually get to speak, where you get to show them who you are beyond the numbers and grades?
You got it. It's the letter of intent. And listen, this isn't just some boring formality. No way. This is the heart and soul of your application. It's your chance to tell a story that connects everything you've done in the past with what you want to do in the future.
So how in the world do you write a letter that powerful? Well, we're going to break it all down. We've got a 5-part roadmap, starting with how to craft your personal story. Then, we'll talk about explaining your connection to Turkey, before diving deep into your research proposal, how to frame it, its core sections, and finally, how to prove your work has real value.
Okay, before we dive in, here's a super helpful way to think about this whole thing. The letter really has two distinct halves. The first part is all about your story. This is the why me part. It's where you sell them on you. And then, for all you graduate applicants, there's the second half, your research proposal. That's the what I'm gonna do part. Let's start with part one. All right, first up, your story. This is the foundation. This is where everything else gets built. The goal here is to build a bridge, a really strong one that connects everything you've done in the past directly to what you're hoping to do in the future.
And what's really cool is that the application itself kind of gives you a cheat sheet. It lays out these 3 core questions for you to answer. Nailing these shows the committee that you're not just qualified, but that you've really thought about who you are and why this exact opportunity is the perfect next step for you.
Now, when they ask for your experience, they don't just mean your grades or transcripts. They want the full picture. So on one hand, yeah, you've got your academic journey, your degrees, big projects, why you even chose your major. But just as important, really, is the other side of the coin, your social experiences. Things like volunteer work or clubs that prove your passion goes way beyond the classroom.
Okay, so once you've laid that groundwork and introduced yourself, it's time to connect all the dots. This is where you have to prove that you didn't just pick this scholarship out of a hat. You have to show them that this is the opportunity that makes perfect sense for your journey.
The committee can spot a generic answer a mile away. You've got to show them you've done your homework. Just saying Turkey has a great education system isn't going to cut it. Get specific. Is there a professor whose work you've been following? A university that's famous for your field? Does Turkey's unique culture or location connect to what you want to study? Make it personal.
And this right here is the absolute key. Don't just list your future goals. You have to connect them. I mean, draw a straight line from here's what I want to do with my life to and here's exactly how this scholarship in Turkey is the crucial piece I need to make that happen.
All right, time to shift gears. We're moving into the second half of the letter now. And for all you master's and PhD candidates out there, listen up, because this is where things get really serious. It's time to talk research.
Now I know the words research proposal can sound kind of scary, but before you start stressing, just take a deep breath. The application itself says that the proposal is not binding. This is huge. They aren't trying to lock you into a topic for the rest of your life. They just want to see how you think. It's a test of your potential, not a contract. So, where do you even begin? Right here, with the problem statement. This is ground zero. You have to be able to clearly and simply state the problem you want to tackle and, this is important, why it even matters in the first place. And here's the kicker. You have to do it in a super tight space. We're talking between 75 and 300 words. That's not a lot. This isn't just a rule, it's a test. It forces you to be incredibly clear and focused. Every single word has to earn its spot. Okay, so once you've laid down that foundation with your problem statement, it's time to start building the rest of the house. This is where we get into the real nuts and bolts, the how and the what of your actual research plan. Your proposal needs to tell a story that makes sense, right? So you start with your main research questions. Then you explain how you're going to find the answers. That's your methodology. After that, you offer some of your first thoughts or hunches. And finally, you prove you've done your reading by talking about the existing literature. That methodology section, it's all about the how. See, it's not enough to just ask brilliant questions. You need a credible, realistic plan for how you're going to find the answers. Are you going to use surveys, build a model, analyze existing data? This is where you prove that your plan can actually work. We're in the home stretch now. In this last section, we're going to talk about how you prove your research is actually valuable. And we'll go over a few absolutely critical rules and tips to make sure your letter really stands out.
You have to answer the so what question. Why should anyone care about this research? You have to spell it out. How is your study going to contribute something new? Will it fill a gap in what we know? Offer a totally new way of looking at things? You have to make the case for why your work matters.
Okay, lean in for this one. This might just be the most important practical tip I can give you. Do not use headings in your letter. I know we've been breaking this down into sections, but that's just for us to organize our thoughts. Your final letter needs to be one single, flowing essay. It should read like a story, not a report.
So before you hit that submit button, run through this last checklist. Pay attention to every single word count. They are not suggestions, they are rules. Remember that very last section of the application is optional, so don't feel pressured to write something if you don't need to. And most importantly, make sure your whole letter tells a great, logical story from start to finish.
So as we wrap up, if there's one thing you take away from all this, it's that the letter of intent is your stage. It is your one chance to tell a story that only you can tell, a story that connects your unique past to a really compelling vision for the future. So the final question is, what story will yours tell?